what kind of person will they become when they decide to face that fear, no matter how it ends up turning out?
The person that did the thing, whether they did it or not. The thing doesn't mean shit. The universe doesn't care about the thing. It does not care about it. Universe or God or whatever you want to call it cares about the fact that you tried. I love the term, live like you're dying. I've had enough people in my life die and know that they don't care about all the stuff they have.
You did whatever the outcome is, you did it. Like I think that's the important part. Really Sean was going with it, right? Like that's it. Like that's where we're at. Like that's what makes it worth it.
Because no matter how anything goes, you're going to come out on the other side of it, and you're going to have learned things, and you're going to have managed it, and you're going to have figured it out. And you're going to carry all of that with you into the next thing, and you're going to learn to trust yourself.
The confidence you are looking for is on the other side of facing that fear. The confidence doesn't come before it. The confidence comes after it. So get out there, touch the damn hot plate, touch fucking fear, walk alongside it, make friends with it, and get after it.
Welcome to No Alcohol Needed, the podcast. You are hanging out at the intersection of emotional wellness, personal growth, and living an alcohol-free life. Here we share everything we've learned and continue to learn about how to be happy, no alcohol needed. Hey, everybody. Welcome to No Alcohol Needed, the podcast. I know we've got listeners who are here right now, and they can think of something. They can think of like one thing at this moment that they want, or that they dream about it, that they're wishing for, or that they know they need to do, but they don't because they're scared they're going to fail. So we are going to talk about fear of failure today. We are going to walk right through this with you guys. What's actually going on? What feelings are going to come up when you finally decide to face the thing you're afraid of? And also, what might happen if you never decide to actually face that fear? So we're going to dig right into this. First question, what makes trying so intimidating? When there's something you want so bad, what is that fear? Why is it so scary?
If I fail, what do you think of me?
Yeah.
It's the first place I went to. Like, fear of freaking judgment right away. And I'm like, I'm sitting there writing and I'm trying to silence my mind. I'm like, no, really, what else is there? And you're like, fear of judgment, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
That's exactly what I said. I wrote down, it's not even really a fear of failure. It's a fear of shame. Because if I fail, everybody's going to see me, and then I'm going to feel shame. And I avoid, like, my instinct since I was a child is to avoid shame at all costs. So for me, that's the scariest part of trying something that I might fail at.
Yeah, mine is just like that core belief that I'm not capable will actually show itself in truth.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so scary to look at ourselves like that.
Yeah, I know it's not true, but it feels true. And if I fail, then it's going to be true.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when we're talking about like fear of failure and all of this stuff that comes up, how does fear of failure actually disguise itself in your life? What's actually like, what does it look like in your life? Because there's a lot of people who are not like, oh, I'm afraid of failure. They don't recognize that for what it is. So what does that look like for you? How can we help people see that that's what it is that they're facing?
I do the dishes. I clean the pool. I do the laundry. I reorganize my sock drawer. I alphabetize my underwear drawer. I procrastinate and put everything that is important off and do all this stuff that, oh, this is really important that I do this right now. And when I know I'm doing that, when I know I've cleaned my closet and I haven't cleaned my closet in 3 years, there's something I'm avoiding. That's how it looks for me.
100%. I do the same thing. I'm like, I will do everything but the one thing. that I know I really need to do. So, and if I like take this back to drinking, when I knew I needed to quit drinking and I was so afraid that I was going to keep trying and realize I couldn't, and what would that mean? Right. Like you said, Sean, I tried every supplement out there. I tried to improve my life by organizing it. I tried to journal more and read all of the books, and I tried taking supplements, and I tried like whatever I could do to try to make things feel better than the one thing. Hey everyone, I'm going to interrupt real quick to share something with you. One of the biggest questions we hear from listeners is how to deal with stress without reaching for alcohol. Because as we all know, life doesn't get magically less stressful just because you stopped drinking. So on March 26th, I am teaching a free workshop where I'm going to walk through the actual skills that help you handle stress without feeling like you're constantly one hard day from falling apart. These are the actual tools and framework that I use with clients to help them handle stress more easily. If that sounds helpful, there's a link to sign up in the show notes, so make sure you look down there. And okay, let's get back to the episode that I actually had to do that was going to actually make some change. So same thing. It was like, how can I stay busy doing everything but the one thing? And that's when I know I'm like, okay, there's a thing here I'm avoiding for sure. What about you, Matt?
I would say that thinking it's not worth it, right? Convincing myself it's not important enough, or like, what's the point of it? If I wrote down this is dumb, what's the point? Why would anybody do something like this? Like, just make it just seem that it's just not a significant thing enough to do in life and spend my time doing, right? The justification of it's not worth it.
So the negative self-talk just jumps in and it's like, here's all the reasons that you shouldn't even try. Yeah.
So the intimidation and the disguise almost go hand in hand. If I'm intimidated by it, I'm going to start disguising the fact that I'm intimidated by it. Like, I don't like the discomfort that comes with wanting to go and do something, because that inherently is important to me. If there's the thing, and I'll give you an example, because I haven't done anything with this except for have little bit conversations about it. I want to write a TED Talk. And there are, Sean knows this, Julie knows this, Matt knows this. Like, I want to write a TED Talk is something that I want to do. I am terrified of it still to this day. And I'm intimidated big time. I'm intimidated. Like, the first place my thought goes is I'm going to stand in front of a whole bunch of people, and that's terrifying as it is. So if I don't even get close to writing it, I don't ever have to face the thing. I am so many levels ahead of even trying to do the thing. Like, I have to write it before I even try and get a chance to stand up in front of people. I have to come up with an idea on something to write about and commit to it before I even get to those next steps. I've got to do so many things to get to the place that I'm actually afraid of. And I'm avoiding even starting because I'll never get there. And this is something, I used to do way more, and I used to not talk about it. If I don't talk about it, it's even easier to disguise how I'm intimidated by it, because I don't have to admit that I'm scared of something. I don't have to admit that I'm scared of the change. I don't have to admit that, what if I write something and it's absolutely horrible? And it means something to me, but when I share it with someone, they're gonna rip it apart. There's the judgment piece. There's the piece of, like, I don't want to have to suck at something to learn the lesson that I really gonna need to learn to not suck at it. But like, that's the thing, is I think, like, if I suck at something, then I can easily compare myself to other people that don't, and then I land in the point where Matt lands. What's the point? Why even bother trying? So then I just never give myself the chance to learn anything.
So I'm such a perfectionist, and I have been for so long. And again with the fear of shame, oh my gosh, what are people going to think of me, right? So I learned young, I'm going to say at least teens that I can remember, if I tried something once and it was hard, I just never tried it again. I was like, oh, I can't do that. And because I didn't want people to see me fail. So I remember one was I really wanted to learn how to play pool back in my early 20s. I was terrible at it. It involves math and stuff. I'm not mathy. But I remember trying once or twice, and I was so bad at it. And we're in a bar with a bunch of people around. And I was like, okay, I can't do that. Clearly, I will never play pool. I never tried again. I wanted to learn how to cross country ski. And we went once, and I was so bad at it. I could not figure out how to get my feet to stay under me. I could not figure out how to gain forward motion. I felt like a fool. I kept falling down. It was the one time, and I was like, okay, I can't cross country ski. I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to let people watch me fail. And so I made that the way I handled anything. If it was hard once and I didn't immediately succeed at it, I was like, okay, I'm not going to do it anymore, because I didn't want people to watch me suck at something. That was really important to me for a really long time. And it held me back from, even just doing fun stuff, right? I finally did learn how to cross country ski. I got over it, but it was 12 years later. So I don't know. It holds us back from so much, even little things, even just having a good time. Yeah. Does
Yeah.
anything else come up for you guys there when we talk about how it shows up in your life?
Well, I love the topic of fear of failure. I love, but I have failed so much in my life that now I'm at the place where I'm afraid to fail at the successes that this thing could bring me,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
if I do this thing, if I do the TED Talk, and if it actually goes well, then I'm going to screw up all of that.
Yep.
And
I feel
so,
that.
and it's just oh my God, or people say the fear of success. It's more of the fear of the responsibility of being successful.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's dig into that
Right.
one for a second.
Steve is
It's
like,
not
yes!
even on the list, but I'm like, whoa, the fear of the responsibility is real.
Mm-hmm.
So I had something, same thing. What happens if this does succeed? What does that mean, right? Where does that open everything up to, right? It is real now. That you just this stuff you just don't even know that comes from it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of research that shows that people aren't afraid to fail. They're afraid of that. They're afraid of the success they're afraid of the responsibility of the success. And, I know that's, that's why I used to disassociate with alcohol, is because I didn't want to be responsible.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of times that success then brings more pressure, and you're like, can I handle that
Absolutely.
pressure? And that's
Yeah.
scary. I've experienced that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
The avoidance of the responsibility. I'm still simmering on this one right now. The pot of water that exists right now that is starting to boil and the steam is starting to come from it. I avoided a lot of responsibility for a fair amount of time, and it's something I'm still learning how to do in the right way, because I feel like if I take on the responsibility, then it consumes my time, and I'm really protective of my time. And then I have to think about, well, if that's the responsibility I now have, then I lose the freedom to make the choices that I want to make outside of that responsibility. So I have this other underlying fear of, what am I going to have to give up to take on this responsibility that, I want to do the thing and I want to learn the lesson and I want to get good at that. But when we get good at stuff, it comes with other responsibilities. And that one's tough to fathom. And it's the fear of, what am I getting myself into if I dive down that rabbit hole? That I feel like it's a combination of a bunch of things, but it comes down to what's going to end up changing if that is a responsibility that I want to take on, or who am I going to disappoint if I have to say no to it?
Mm. It's like the fear of the unknown. It's this anxiety because you can't picture what it's going to look like when you get to that point. You don't know what that's going to entail. You don't know what kind of pressure that's going to bring or responsibility or what time it's going to take. And that creates a lot of anxiety and fear, I think. And it's valid. So let's jump into a little bit of storytelling really quick and tell me a story about a time that you did decide to face a fear. What emotions actually showed up for you in that moment? Like, how did you move through those emotions?
I'll jump right into this one. Well, so this is this is something that like I didn't write too much about this one because you talked about emotions, so I don't know what emotions are going to come from this, and I want it to be real. Last year, right, went to Disney with the kids, and roller coasters have scared me my whole life. Don't ride them. There's no need to ride these things. Why go upside down? Like none of the ones there go upside down. But like, why are you gonna go on this thing that goes 80 miles an hour and get stuck or whatever? You know. And so we got there, and the first day we go to Magic Kingdom, and was it Tron? And we got in the park early, and there was like no line. I say no line. We waited for like 30, 40 minutes instead of 2 hours. But it was just one of those things. It's like I didn't get sober in life to not do these things, right? Like it is just like that's just so much of like how my mentality is now with these things. And it's just I was just like, I don't know the next time I'm coming to Disney, I am going to do this. Like it can't be more scared than the fear I faced when I got sober. Right. And
Hmm.
so I got on there and I'm in line by myself, probably 10, 15 minutes later, my mom comes around. She's like, I'm going to ride this too. Now, though she had no interest in doing it, but she saw me do it. So she decided to do it. Right. End up the whole trip. Like I rode every roller coaster in Disney that was there. I just was like, let's go, let's go. And I was just like this whole thing. And it's like, I was scared of something just because I didn't try it. Right.
Hmm.
But, it was like the rush. It was so much fun. Like what's the one? The one that drops Hollywood something. I don't
Oh, I
know,
hate
Hollywood
that. Like,
Terrier, whatever
yeah.
it is. But like I'm in this line with I'm in this line with two kids who were in high school. They cancel or they skipped school that day, and we're like in line talking, and I'm just thinking about like stuff and like giving them life advice, and I'm just like, I am this guy right now. But it's just like I'm having so much fun, and it's like I wish I was that age again where I knew these things. You know what I mean? Like that type of a situation with it. But there was just like a sense of accomplishment, like getting over that fear,
Yeah.
right? Like I was doing something that again doesn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense to me of why you want to do these things, but like, it was awesome. It was really awesome. Like, I mean, I tried to get Luke, my son, to ride some of these things with me, but he only rode a few. But it was just like, I don't know. It was just like amazing. Just to put it that way. It was amazing. Well worth it. Well worth the fear. But like I said, it's like I didn't get sober not to do things. Like I think that's the underlying part of this, right? Like that was hard. I don't know if I'm ever going to face anything in life as hard as that.
I
Yeah.
feel like that needs to
So.
go on a t-shirt. Like I didn't get sober to not do cool stuff because, I mean, that's actually a great way to look at that. I love it. You opened yourself up
Yeah,
to
that
cool
is cool.
experiences. What you got,
I think
Sean?
everything I did after I got sober, for the first 20 years at least, was terrifying because I just did everything drunk for so long. It's how I learned how to live life. One specific instance, I guess, yeah, the TEDx talk was terrifying, parts of it, but like I've forgotten about all that because I've already gone through it. So like right now, what I'm experiencing, um, is I'm creating a new business, and that's overwhelming because I don't know what I'm doing in this arena that I'm getting into. And so, like, what emotions am I feeling? All of them, all at once, every day, nonstop. And there's nothing to numb it out.
Hmm.
And that's success in my eyes, is being able to just walk through that. there's a meme out there on social media, and it says like the caption is what it feels like when you're starting a new chapter in your life, and it's an airplane taking off in the middle of a fog, and it takes off in fog, and it for the first several seconds it's flying through fog. It has no idea where it's going. It's just trusting its instruments, and the pilot's just trusting all of its training to get him through the fog. And eventually the airplane skyrockets out of the top of the fog and into the clear sky. And that's kind of what I feel like you're talking about. It's like I'm kind of flying blind.
Mhm.
And so the emotions, if I listen to them, are telling me if I'm on course or not on course with where I'm going. So I want to feel them, but how do I process them? I've always said this. I walk and talk. I talk to my wife. I talk to my friends. I tell them how I'm feeling. I experience it. If I got to cry, I got to cry. If I've got to feel nervous, I've got to feel nervous. And I just allow myself to feel it. It goes away. I learn from it and I move through it. But
Mhm.
that's how I've just learned, because if not, the only way I know how to deal with it is to drink, and that doesn't work. So I
Right.
might as well just do the exact opposite, feel it, and that does work.
Hmm.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Do you want to
Yeah.
tell a story first, Julie, or do you want me to go?
I'll go.
Okay.
The first thing that comes up to me when I think of like a story where I faced fear was when I decided to go backpacking and I ended up going alone. So I had planned this really long backpacking trip, like we're talking like a couple weeks long with a friend, and she ended up bailing on day one. Most of our listeners, if you've been here for a while, you've heard parts of this story, but she wasn't feeling good. She wasn't feeling like it was the right thing for her to be doing at that moment. And we'd been planning it for months. And we hit a point on the trail the first day in where there was a highway and cell phone service at the same time. And she was like, all right, I'm calling my daughter. I need to go. I'm not going to be able to do this. So at that moment, I'm on the side of a mountain. It's like 8 p.m. It's dark when her daughter comes and picks her up. And I had to decide, am I going to go walk this whole thing for 2 weeks, hundreds of miles alone, which I'd never done before. I'd backpacked, but I'd never backpacked alone. Or am I going to give up on it? Am I going to go home with her? And so it was like this decision I had to make right there on the side of a mountain. I was like, okay, like I can't not do this. This is something that I've wanted to do. It's something that I know I need to do for me. Like it was so important and it was something I was so passionate about. So I was like, all right, today is the day that I learn how to backpack alone for hundreds of miles. And so I put up my tent there on the side of the mountain and I slept the night. And, when we talk about what emotions come up for me, the first one was I compared myself to everybody as I was moving along the trail alone because I had no gauge of what I was supposed to do or what it was supposed to look like or how fast I was supposed to go. So I was constantly comparing myself to everybody else that I saw, other hikers and backpackers. And I had to really learn to stop with that. And I think that we do that a lot of times when we're walking into something we're afraid of, is we look around and how is everybody else handling this? Well, that doesn't matter because the only person that mattered at that moment was me and how I was handling it. And I had to kind of work through that and process that. And then the other thing was the anxiety of like, I I imagined everything that was coming to be so much worse than it actually was. So like to Sean's point, it was a fog. I had no idea what was coming. But boy, I could imagine it. I could think of all the possibilities, and I always made it worse than it was. So I would be laying in my tent at night, like crying, afraid of the big mountain I knew I had to climb the next day. And like once I got there, it was one step at a time. Like I got up, I got over it, I got down the other side, and it just wasn't as horrible. So I think those were two of the emotions that I kind of had to sit with. And what I've learned with both of those is like, and Sean talked about this too. Our goal isn't to make the fear go away. We have to learn how to let the fear walk alongside of us and just be a part of the experience. And I think
Mhm.
so often when we were drinking, especially, or finding ways to numb out, it was, I have to make this feeling go away because I can't do this thing if I'm going to feel like that. And I think that's where so many of us got it wrong, was we wanted to turn that feeling off. So when we talk to people and they're like, I'm afraid to do this thing, how do I stop being afraid? Well, you don't. You just let yourself be afraid and you do it anyway. And then one of the quotes that came to mind as I was kind of taking some notes on this episode and on that part of my journey, Brianna Weiss, whom I love, and I think everybody should read her books. She says, "Remember that the minute you take your first step into the life of your dreams, the first to greet you there will be fear. Nod, keep walking. And I think we have to let fear be in the room with us, because it will be. It's not going to stop being in the room with you. And I think that's where everything changes.
When
Love that.
fear is always in the room, regardless. It's always there. We're either avoiding it and it's still in the room, or we're facing it. And when I touch fear, I give myself a chance to learn something. My story is right now. My story is right now. I moved 1,600 miles away. And I bet on myself that I would figure out how to stay. That was June 2024. I had a room rented, and I had no idea I was going to be going back to school. But I'm doing that right now. Like, if this doesn't work, it almost looks to me like it's an epic failure. Like, I have literally poured my heart into doing all of these things right now that feel so right and so aligned. That failing at it's scary, because now it's me facing me, and it's me facing the choices I made for myself. And if that's not scary, like, what is? Like, I chose to believe in myself. And if I failed at that, what do I have left? So, like, I'm getting emotional here because, like, this is extremely important to me on, like, every level, like a personal growth level, an emotional level. Like, thinking of that failure hurts. And so the only way I can give myself hope and give myself, like, to not have that be the driving force, but the force that walks alongside me, is that if I look at it from the perspective that I'm going to learn something regardless, and it's the not trying that is the failure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
100%.
So
That
what
is so
comes up
true.
for me is the shame, disappointment, guilt, letting myself down, and then having to talk about it again. I've talked about failure before in a really hard way, and that was when I quit drinking. And this has the same kind of epic feel to it.
Mm-hmm. That is so true, Steve. That is just so true. That fear of failure, the paradox of that is there's no failure if you step into it and you just do your best. There's no failure.
Right.
The only failure is when you don't step into it.
Mm-hmm.
I never really thought of it that way, but you are so true. You're so right.
That's why my motto, and I learned this when I got here, is show up and try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Regardless of what happens, regardless of the fear that's there, that's in front of me, and doing the thing that I know is right and I know is aligned, and like, I consider these things hard. And as soon as I know, and I look and I go, is this thing good for me? And the answer to that is yes. And if I don't want to do it, I immediately, like, it's me and fear, and we're facing this fucking thing. Like, The last thing I want is fear to rule my life. I know what that looks like. And the fear of failure terrifies me. So I guess I'm stepping into the responsibility.
Right.
Yep. So
Yeah,
true.
that's exactly it. Yeah. No, I've watched you walk into fear over and over the past few years. So, and I think that's exactly what it is. You're not letting it stop you. That's what we're talking about here is when fear stops you, that's when you fail. When you keep walking, you're not failing, you're not losing. It may not turn out, you may not get the picture of success that you were hoping you would get, but you're going to gain something from it. It's not a failure. Reframing that has been huge for me when it comes to all of the different ways that I'm afraid to fail is if the only failure is not trying. So let's talk about actual like perceived failures and what it's been like to actually fail at something that was important to you. How did you deal with that? What did that look like? And how did you grow through that instead of just letting it completely, drown you?
It's humbling.
Yeah.
Very, very humbling. There's a lot of emotion there. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's not as painful as I thought it was going to be,
hmm
if that makes sense. And I try to reframe things now. I think, I fail. When I fail, it's because I'm holding on to the outcome that I think I need to be okay. And so I didn't meet that North Star that I was going for. But I ended up somewhere else and I learned something totally different than maybe I intended to learn. And that's not failure. So that's kind of how I reframe it is I failed from what I thought I needed in this, what outcome I thought I needed. And that's not the outcome I got, but I did get an outcome.
hmm
And then it's like, okay, what did I learn? Well, let go of some expectation first. I also tend to, if I think fear is a good emotion. So like if there's a saber-toothed tiger in front of me, I don't think I should wrestle it.
Right.
Right. I think that would be like, I'm afraid to fail. No, you're going to fucking fail. He's going to eat you. Right. So I think there has to be that level of understanding, like do the risk analysis first.
Right.
And then set some proper expectations for yourself. And I bet you're going to find that you fail less. But usually when I've failed, which I've done a ton, some of my expectations were where I needed to be.
hmm I think so. One of the things that comes to mind when you say that, I'm going to jump in here real quick and then I'll give Matt the floor. But like I've learned instead of trying to have an expectation of exactly how something is going to go at any point, to try to approach it with curiosity. Instead of I need this to go this way for me to get this result, it's I'm going to do it this way. And I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder what I'm going to learn from that. And when you can switch into that state of curiosity, then you're not shooting for this thing that you must achieve in order to feel like you succeeded. Then it can be like, oh, I did the thing. What did I learn? Oh, cool. I learned some really important stuff I can carry with me now. And I think that's been one of the valuable things. When you talk about expectations, that's what comes to mind for me.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got, Matt? When have you failed? What does that look like?
Well, so this is interesting because I kind of struggled to think about a situation when I failed. And when I say that, it's more of, I'll say since I've got sober. If we want to talk about for that, I got lots of them. We think we all do. But I think those points were just brought up that were talked about that were, I guess, the key points for me though. Like I definitely have some unreal expectations of myself, of what I think I still can do. That probably caused some fear there where then the failure and all those things have happened. But then it's just kind of like, it's not failing because I tried. Like that's where it's like, it's very hard for me to pinpoint something in the last few years that I'm just like, oh, I failed and was like disappointed in myself. Like I really can't pinpoint something.
That's
And
the
that's not me.
interesting part.
No, go ahead.
It's like the think about what you're saying for a second. It's hard to pinpoint failure because you tried. And so anytime the fear of failure exists, how many times are you going to remember it later on in life? Like, what is going to be the overall effect? So the fear of failure in that instance and what you're sharing, and this is true, because I was like, when was the last time that I like truly failed something? And like, so afraid of failure, it's a thing, it exists, but you try, and the fear of failure then disappears. And at least goes back into somewhere back here, because it's not something that you're experiencing on a regular basis anymore. That being said, do you got anything else you want to keep going?
Well, so I'm gonna touch on this part of it too, real. Again, not to dig too much to the sobriety thing, but right, like you guys have always said, like year 3, there's this change, right? And I feel like now sitting, I just celebrated 3 years, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, whatever it was on the 5th.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah,
so
man.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. But like, I feel like over the past few months and now sitting here kind of reflecting on it, like there's been this again, this shift of like, I used to always say the big change for me getting sober was when I was okay with myself. And now I almost feel like there's been another shift to like, okay times 2, right? Like this whole thing of like these things that you realize that like aren't life and death like things. And that's where it's this perspective for me has been this way of just kind of like, all right, let's do it. Like, let's see what happens, right? Like, we're you guys know this, right? Like, I put in the other day also to run the New York City Marathon. It's a lotto, it's a long shot. There's ways I can get in and can do it, right? But like, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. I started out with I was just gonna run lots of miles all this year. I'm just gonna run to like let's make something of it. I don't know. Like, it's just I shared yesterday at AA meeting. I used to get so nervous before this thing. And I sat there and was just like, calm as can be like this, sharing the meeting, telling my story. What's got me where I am today? Like, it's just this different perspective is the best way to put it, that has not been me before, of looking at things. And it's just, I don't know. It makes it hard to speak about failure to an extent because it's like I just look at it in such a different way.
That right
So
there's the testament to the growth, though. That's where,
Mhm.
we every time we deal with failure, face failure, process failure, understand it, ask ourselves what that means to us, and we do that over and over again as we go through life doing the things. The big scary things don't feel as scary anymore. The things that we would have seen as a failure before don't even seem like a failure. They can actually seem like a success. It's the work of doing the little things over and over again that you're talking about right there, to where you're like, it's like you're a completely different person. And you're so much less afraid of things now.
It does. It loosens its grip the more you touch it.
Mhm.
The more you walk alongside it, the more you just recognize that it's there, the more you say, I see you, and I'm just going to go ahead and do the damn thing anyways, because this is something that I want. And that becomes greater than the discomfort you're willing to sit with and through. And it's sitting through it that makes it as wonderful as it actually is. When you can't even put words to it, you just understand that it's better for you this way than it is the other. I had to go back to a place where it was a long time ago, like what I felt like a pretty big failure was not quitting the damn job that I was miserable at. And I didn't quit, and I didn't quit, and I didn't quit, and I didn't quit, and I knew it was the thing that I needed to do. And eventually, like, I broke down many, many times. Julie can attest to this. She was witness. It was a cycle for me. About every 3 to 4 months, I would just turn into a puddle, and that was me avoiding dealing with the thing, and then and letting just the fear of all of the change that was going to happen take hold. And so every 3 to 4 months, the baggage I carried undealt with came back and slapped me in the face, picked myself back up 3 days later, and then 3 months later, 4 months later, I would do it all over again. All because I didn't face
Mhm.
that. And
Mhm.
that was the failure was for me to launch, to do the thing that I knew I needed to do, that internal voice that just kept nattering, "No, no, 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 no. Yes, 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 yes." But now the failures generally are mostly the silent ones, the promises that I wanna keep to myself that I don't end up keeping, like I'm gonna eat healthier and then go ahead and eat cake, or I'm gonna do, uh, 100 push-ups for a day, and I only did 20. And I had the time, I just didn't make it. Or I'm gonna read 10 pages out of a book because I know that's fucking good for me, and I don't. Like, those are my failures. My failures are the promises that I don't keep to myself, the things that I want because I know that are good for me that I don't do, or that I
Mhm.
avoid doing, or that I say I don't have the time. Those are
Yeah.
that's the failures that I
I
that
like
I
that.
have today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a great way of looking at it. I think that so when I think of the failure story that comes for me, I now do these like multi-100-mile hikes every summer. I go every year. I just go walk in the woods by myself. And there was one a couple of years ago where I did not make it to my destination. I stopped on the side of the trail. My knee was hurt so badly that I
Mhm.
couldn't keep walking. And I was so mad at myself because I felt like I was just wussing out. And I mean, I sat there on the side of the trail looking out over the most gorgeous mountain scenery you can imagine, just bawling because I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep going. I was big, huge climbs up ahead of me, and I knew I wasn't gonna make it. And so I had to sit there and, like, be angry for a little bit. And I guess that part of what came up for me when you were talking, Steve, was, I can look at that now and I don't think it's a failure. It took me a little bit to move through that, but it was out of my control. Like, had I continued, I would have been failing myself because I probably would have blown out my knee and I wouldn't be hiking every year now. So I made the right choice by calling somebody and having them come get me and choosing to get off the trail, but it was out of my control. What you're talking about, Steve, is stuff that's totally in your control that you're just choosing not to do. And I think there's something with the failure thing in there where, if we give it everything we had, if we can look and say, you know what, I prepared the best I could, that I knew how to do, and I gave all of the effort that I had to give, and all of those things, and then things got in my way and I could not complete what I had set out to do. That's not a failure. You still, again, with the you tried, you put in the effort, you did everything you could. We don't have control over so much around us. And,
Mhm.
that was a part of what I had to sit with and remember was I could not control the situation. And then also I learned so much from not making it, from having to turn back. I learned how to be humble, like Sean said. And I also learned how to do the things I needed to do for my body to strengthen my knees because it turns out that 40-year-old knees aren't as strong as 20-year-old knees. And so I learned about my body. I learned how to take care of myself and build that up. And I learned so many things that will help me do better next time and did help me do better next time. So again, it wasn't really a failure, but I think that that's when you were talking, Steve, I'm like, oh, that's the big, that is failure. When you're like, oh, I'm promising myself this and then I'm just choosing not to,
Mhm.
that hurts. That's
Yeah.
probably in a lot of ways more damaging than experiencing a failure that was out of your control that just didn't work out. If you
We
look
always
at
think
long-term impact.
we always think like the fear of failure, and I mean that's the first thing that comes up is like judgment and all of these external things, these external factors that show up when we do fail. And like the entire internal factor here is what am I willing to deal with and what am I not willing to deal with and what am I willing to put my energy into? And then how important am I going to make it?
Mhm.
And like that's all a me thing. That's an internal thing. It's a self-worth thing. It's a self like preservation thing sometimes. It all like it all plays in a factor, but it's definitely about like for me now it's all of those small things because I know that if I do these small things, That's what it's all about. It's all about doing the small things. The small things get you the epic shit that you want in life. It's just what it does. It's just, that's the one of the biggest lessons I've learned so far, is the small stuff is what actually matters.
Mhm.
It's incremental.
Yeah.
The things that don't feel good
Yeah.
in the moment.
Yeah.
That I'm not going to get any immediate gratification from this whatsoever, and I still need to do it
100%.
because later on, that delayed gratification will come. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
relate to that.
And you do about 10,000 of those little things, and
Yep.
you're not going to recognize yourself at the end of it. That's, I
Yep,
mean,
we
that's
just
so
gotta
much
keep
of what we
doing it.
talk about here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring the closing question in here. I'm gonna ask you guys to share some thoughts on this, kind of just a quick, brief, snappy answer to our closing question. So, if somebody listening right now can like name that thing that they want, that they're so afraid of failing at, what kind of person will they become when they decide to face that fear, no matter how it ends up turning out?
The person that did the thing, whether they did it or not. The thing doesn't mean shit. The universe doesn't care about the thing. It does not care about it. Universe or God or whatever you want to call it cares about the fact that you tried. I love the term, live like you're dying. I've had enough people in my life die and know that they don't care about all the stuff they have. They care about all the people that they've come in contact with and all the things they didn't do.
Mhm.
Right. And that's what keeps me going, is just like, I want to be on my deathbed knowing I tried at everything I wanted to try at. I don't care if I succeeded or not, I tried.
Yeah.
And you will be the person that tries. You'll be the person that did the thing, even though you might not have gotten it done. It's
Right.
inevitable. You didn't finish the
Absolutely.
hike, yet you're the person that hiked that 100-mile hike, right? You
Yeah.
might not have finished it, but you still are the person that did that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Matt,
kind
what
of where
about
I
you?
was going with it. Was like the experience, right? You have the experience of it, right? You can take as what you wish from that, but you did whatever the outcome is, you did it. Like I think that's the important part. Really where Sean was going with it, right? Like that's it. Like that's where we're at. Like that's what makes it worth it.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And
So
you'll become
true.
the kind of person who knows that you can trust yourself, because no matter how anything goes, you're going to come out on the other side of it, and you're going to have learned things, and you're going to have managed it, and you're going to have figured it out. And you're going to carry all of that with you into the next thing, and you're going to learn to trust yourself.
Yeah.
The confidence you are looking for is on the other side of facing that fear. The confidence doesn't come before it. The confidence comes after it. So get out there, touch the damn hot plate, touch fucking fear, walk alongside it, make friends with it, and get after it. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Matt, for being here. Love having you guys on. Love having our conversations. To our listeners, hit it right now. You're still here. Subscribe if you haven't. And I know there's lots of you out there that haven't subscribed. Hit the button. And we'll see you again on another episode. And you can follow us on Facebook at No Alcohol Needed, or on Instagram. We're there. And leave a comment in here. Did this episode help you? Did it not? I don't know. Go ahead, be a troll. I'll be happy to respond. Anyways, I'm not afraid of you. Anyways, we'll see you again on the next episode. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.